Happening now, breaking news right here in the nation's capital. Gunshots and a wild car chase from the White House to Capitol Hill. We have remarkable new video. We're standing by for a news conference by D.C. police, the FBI, the Secret Service, and other agencies. Plus, a child found in the car that led police racing across the city. We'll have the latest on that and the fate of the driver. And two powerful Republican senators caught on an open microphone. The conversation about the government shutdown they probably didn't want all of us to hear. We want to welcome our viewers in the United States and around the world. I'm Wolf Blitzer. You're in the Situation Room.
This is CNN Breaking News.
We begin this hour with a terrifying confrontation from the doorstep of President Obama over at the White House to the entrance of the United States Capitol.
Oh.
New video captures the car chase, the gunshots, and the raw fear in a city already on edge after only 2 weeks after that D.C. Navy Yard slaughter and in the midst of the government shutdown. We're standing by for a news conference by D.C. police and other federal authorities on this breaking story. There you see the microphone up on Capitol Hill. We'll have live coverage as soon as they come there to start briefing us and answering our questions. Right now, I want you to watch and listen to the way the car chase unfolded.
ده بالصدفة يلا احنا هناخد سبق فيها رهيب ومصورينها انا والمصور. اوه
That video shot by El Hurra, the Arabic language station funded by the U.S. government. That's why you were hearing Arabic. Here's the news conference. It's about to begin.
My name is Ed Donovan. I'm from United States Secret Service. I want to talk about the incident today. At about 14-12 hours today, a black Infiniti sedan struck temporary security fencing and one of our uniform division officers at an outer perimeter checkpoint of the White House at 15th Street and E Street Northwest. The vehicle then fled east on Pennsylvania Avenue. There were multiple crime scenes as a result of the vehicle fleeing. There were multiple shots fired at several different locations. This case is under investigation by the Metropolitan Police Department with assistance from the U.S. Capitol Police, Secret Service, the Federal Bureau of Investigation. That's all I have, but I'll take a few questions.
Excuse me, sir, is there any way that this could have been an accident, whether or not she didn't know where she was going? Or
This incident is under investigation, but at this point, an unauthorized vehicle attempted to gain access at a very outer perimeter checkpoint. I want to stress that this was an outer perimeter checkpoint of the White House. Beyond that checkpoint, there are multiple other checkpoints that someone would have to go through. But there's this unauthorized vehicle approached a checkpoint. Our officers acted appropriately. The vehicle then fled and in fleeing struck one of our officers as it departed that initial scene.
What is the ethnicity of the deceased?
I don't think that's being released at this point.
Can terrorism be ruled out?
That is also under investigation by uniform division officers and Capitol Police officers.
Where were the shots fired? Were the shots fired at the White House?
As I said, there were no shots fired at the White House. These other locations is where shots were fired, and that again, it's all under investigation.
Where were the shots fired?
Of the officer who was struck?
I'll let the chief of Capitol Police talk about that. And I'll turn it over at this point to the.
Can you ID yourself again?
Ed Donovan from Secret Service, Chief.
Good evening, Kim Dine, Chief of the United States Capitol Police. You've already heard the preliminary information regarding what happened at the White House. Subsequent to that, our officers attempted to make a stop at Garfield Circle. The vehicle eluded them and continued on up behind us at First and Constitution Avenue. It appears our officer, in an attempt to pursue the vehicle, struck a barricade. Ultimately, the vehicle stopped at 2nd and Maryland Northeast, where we were able to capture the suspect.
Do you have the status of the officer that you're...
I personally spoke with the officer, and he is doing well. He's a 23-year veteran of the United States Capitol Police, and he's doing very well. Thank you for asking.
Is he at the hospital, or how seriously injured is he?
He was at the hospital when I spoke with him, but he's going to be fine.
How was he injured?
I don't have his specific injuries.
How was he injured?
His vehicle apparently struck the barricade behind us. It appears all around the Capitol, the security worked exceptionally well. We did have a very brief lockdown of the Capitol, and we were able to kind of lock things down and clear the event extremely quickly, keeping everybody safe, notifying everybody of what was going on, and we actually cleared the scene rather quickly. As you know, we had a briefing probably within the hour of what was going on. We obviously are investigating the incident. Multiple law enforcement agencies, and this appears to be an isolated, singular matter with, at this point, no nexus to terrorism. Thank you. Pardon me?
How do you rule out terrorism?
From the facts and circumstances that we have thus far, it appears that there's no relation to
The suspect is of Somali descent.
Are you asking me or telling me?
Of Somali descent. An African-American suspect.
We're actually not talking about the suspect at this time.
Can you write name and condition?
We are not releasing any information on the suspect at this time.
The child that was in the car.
How did she get past the first barricade?
What was the motive? Can you talk about the child in the car and where the child is now? Where?
My understanding is there was a 1-year-old child in the car. I believe actually one of our officers initially rescued the child and took the child to initial medical care in the vicinity here, and then the child was taken to the hospital.
Were the barricades up over First Street?
Pardon me?
The barricades, were they up? When she came through, were those barricades up? Or did she get through them?
We're obviously still investigating that. Let me turn it over to Chief Lanier from the Metropolitan Police Department.
Describe the child, the boy or girl, what kind of ethnicity?
I do not have that information right now.
Was it only 2 occupants in the car?
Let me try and answer a couple of questions real quick. I'll tell you up front, there are certain questions we're not going to answer. We're not going to answer any questions about the suspect at this point. All the information that we're giving you is preliminary. There is some video that has been released. I would caution you that that video only captures the incident, a small part of this incident. There was things that were not captured on video before and after, obviously. As of right now, we do know that there were shots fired in at least 2 locations during this pursuit. The pursuit was from 15th and E down to 100 block of Maryland Avenue. So the pursuit went several blocks, involved both United States Secret Service and United States Capitol Police. Right now, the suspect in the vehicle, we do know, was struck by gunfire and at this point has been pronounced. So the suspect has been pronounced at this point. The child is approximately 1 year old and is in good condition and in protective custody. Right now, it is all very preliminary. We don't know which officers fired, how many rounds were fired. I will say that both at the White House and at the Capitol, the security perimeters worked. They did exactly what they were supposed to do, and they stopped a suspect from breaching the security perimeters, both in a vehicle, in a vehicle at both locations. I would say that from both of the United States Secret Service and Capitol Police officers, from what I have seen so far in this investigation, acted heroically in trying to stop this suspect from entering the security perimeters at both locations. We have 2 officers that are injured, one from Capitol and one from Secret Service. Fortunately, both of them will be okay. But 2 officers injured just doing their job. So I will take a few questions, but I'm not going to answer any questions about the investigation and pertains to evidence or pertains to the suspect at this point.
Where was the suspect killed?
The suspect, the last gunfire was in the 100 block of Maryland Avenue, and the suspect was pronounced sometime later.
Chief, do you think that this could have been an accident, or do you think it was intentional?
All information we have right now is this does not appear to be in any way an accident. This was a lengthy pursuit. There were multiple vehicles that were rammed. There was officers that were struck, and 2 security perimeters that were attempted to be breached. So it does not appear in any way this is an accident. We don't know that yet. I'm sorry?
Why aren't you releasing more information about her if she's been put out?
We're not going to release any information about the suspect or anybody else. I mean, first of all, we would make next of kin notifications before we would release that information.
Yeah, was she armed with a firearm?
We're not going to comment on any information regarding evidence at this point.
Did you describe the child through that path from the White House that this person traveled to get to Maryland Avenue? Where was the car going? Where were the different places where the shots were fired?
Now, I can tell you that there was 2 places where shots were fired that we're aware of at this point. This is still preliminary. The pursuit started at 15th and E Street, came down Pennsylvania Avenue. At some point entered Garfield Circle. There were shots fired after the suspect vehicle rammed into a Secret Service vehicle, and then the vehicle then continued on First Street to Constitution Avenue, up Constitution, around the barriers, and then onto 100 block of Maryland Avenue, where the vehicle crashed and additional shots were fired there.
Which agency went around the barrier?
We're not sure yet where exactly. There was contact made with the barriers. We know by at least 1 vehicle. We don't know by if there was other vehicles, but we know that the barriers did go up, and we know that at least 1 vehicle struck the barriers. We really don't know that yet until we finish the reconstruction.
Gunfire
agencies opened fire? Was it Secret Service and Capitol Hill Police?
Right now, the preliminary information is that both agencies had officers that fired. I'll take 2 more questions, and then we're done.
Taking the lead of the investigation.
The Metropolitan Police Department will be investigating this case. We are getting support from FBI, Capitol Police, and Secret Service.
Any verbal exchange with the suspect?
I can't comment on that at this point. I'll take 1 more question.
So how did it ultimately end? She crashed?
Yeah. The crash at the 100 block of Maryland Avenue, and at that point, this is very close to the security booth with the security officers from the Capitol. There was another round of gunfire at that point. So that's where the pursuit terminated.
How can terrorism be ruled out if it's so preliminary?
It's all we're giving you right now is just the facts we know of what has happened. I'm not ruling anything out at this point. I can tell you that I'm pretty confident this is not an accident. All right, thank you.
Well, what I said was it does not appear to be. And I just want to reiterate the heroic work of the United States Capitol Police officers at multiple locations in addition to rescuing the child out of the vehicle. At this location and at 2nd Maryland Northeast, our officers kept the perimeter secure and responded quickly and heroically and locked the scenes down. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Your name, please. Any more
So there he is, Kim Dine. He's the Capitol.
We're done for tonight.
How fast were they moving down?
Capitol Police, Kim Dine, the chief of the Capitol Police, saying that he doesn't believe there was any nexus to terrorism, believes it was, in his words, an isolated, singular matter. But Cathy Lanier, the police chief for the Greater Washington Metropolitan Police Department, says she's not ruling anything out right now. They're not releasing the name of the woman, the driver, Cathy Lanier, though, the D.C. police chief, saying that this woman, the driver, was pronounced dead following the shooting up on Capitol Hill. There's lots to assess, lots to digest right now. We'll have complete coverage. Stand by. Also, they saw the car chase. They heard the gunfire. They felt the fear. We're going to hear from more witnesses to this dangerous confrontation that occurred right here in the heart of the nation's capital. That's coming up. What a day here in Washington. The Secret Service says a woman tried to drive her car through security barriers outside the White House, couldn't do it, then injured a police officer, a Secret Service officer, then drove up to Capitol Hill where the chase continued, resulting in her being shot to death by police. Let's bring in the Republican congressman from Texas, Representative Michael McCall. He's the chairman of the House Homeland Security Committee. Mr. Chairman, thanks very much for coming in.
Thanks for having me, Wolf.
You just heard the briefing we got from the Secret Service, that we got from the Capitol Police, we got from the D.C. Metropolitan Police. I know you've been briefed by the Homeland Security Department. What else can you share with us?
Well, we know that this is a 34-year-old African-American woman from Connecticut, possibly with some mental health issues, that she tried to storm the barricade at the White House entrance near Treasury. in the process actually ran into a Secret Service agent. And then we had the high-speed chase that ended up here on Capitol Hill, which unfortunately very tragically resulted in her being shot and killed. As you know, she has an 18-month-old daughter. But I will say that the job that the Capitol Police did here today was heroic, and they are to be commended for protecting not only the members of Congress and staffers, but the American public as well, who are out here visiting.